Yeah, okay, so, let's see, it's, 5:40. We got our meeting. Looks like everyone's here. Lisa, Chris, Joe, you, Kerry, me, John. Who's taking minutes?
That would be me.
It's gonna be you? Okay, great. All right, so everyone's here. The minutes, we've got 2 minutes this meeting. We've got the minutes from, December 22nd, and we've also got the minutes for, January 26th. I'm going to just, make a motion that we, mark the minutes as read. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Passed. Okay, so, approval of minutes. We don't have any old business, and we just have the new business, when, the people get here for that.
We did just have one item, I just wanted to update you that we have not received as of yet the any appraisal for 454 Washington Street. We had given till March 30th, so just as of right now, we do not have it. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Thank you for the update.
And I just want to let you know one other thing that, on the agenda, I guess we still have an old heading that hasn't been updated. It says John McVitie, Lisa Abadie, Mary Lyons, and Joe Spada. Chris isn't on there. Mary still is on there.
On the agenda, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I thought we had that taken care of. Thank you.
Yep.
So many things.
Gary, do you know how many people are going to be here for this meeting?
There is one appellant for the entire meeting. Fiskville property.
Right, but are they going to have different, just one person
I
represents this whole
believe
thing?
it's just Mr. Vivenzio, yes.
Okay.
I think we can start.
Yeah.
Is everyone here? Is the, we've
Yes.
already started. I'm just waiting for the people that are going to,
He's here.
oh, is he? I didn't see him.
Yeah, sorry, my camera is frozen on my
Okay.
PC. Not sure
I'm
why.
sorry, I couldn't see you, so.
But
All right, yeah, we can get started.
Hear you.
Okay.
John, can you hear Robert?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay.
You can get started, Robert.
Okay. So we're all familiar with the Arkwright property, Arkwright Sill. And their property formerly occupied both sides of Main Street. And on what's the date for that? On November 13, 2019, the portion of the property that abuts the river was sold by Arkwright for $400,000. The revaluation took place as of 12/31, and the value on the for that parcel was reduced to I don't know, Carrie, was it 450,000 or something to that effect?
I believe it was 450, yeah.
No, $450,000. So I was trying to work with Carrie on, and we invited them in to see the property along with a member of the reval company. What was his name?
That was Rich Nagel, the president.
Rich Nagel.
Hmm.
And I didn't really get any response back, but obviously when I filed an appeal, it was denied. So this property on the left side, or the whatever side you're coming on, the side opposite the river, has 8 parcels, and for a assessed value of $2,517,300. So it's in at $29.60 with all the land parcels. And
They're separate parcels, though.
exactly, they're separate parcels. The main parcel is 536 Main Street, and that's assessed at $1,678,200 or $19. $19.42 a square feet. Now I've got 86,428 square feet on that property. The property that's sold across the way was larger. I think it was $124,000 plus or minus, 124,000 square feet plus or minus. And that sold for $400,000.
There's, Mhm.
So I've got Thomas Andolfo, who's going to be finishing up an appraisal on this property. Unfortunately, he could not join us, or has he been able to spend much time on it, unfortunately. But I heard you say that you did give another taxpayer some time to get their report to you. I'm hoping that I could have the same courtesy.
I will point out that that individual had actually requested that, made it part of his presentation earlier. Let's finish this and then we can talk about where we go in the future.
So, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, I just can't imagine what, when something's sold for, $3.20 a square foot, why the property across the street is at $19 for the main parcel and $29 per square foot for the other land parcels attached to it. And, I had given, do you have the information that I had provided? The comparable sales? And on that is the 0 Main Street property that Fiscal Realty sold to Response, the last one for $400,000, $3.40. There's other warehouse properties that sold, for $2.67, $11.27. The 2 in Coventry that were converted to apartments are older sales, but it's Coventry, so they're still mill buildings. Their asking price on 2 other properties are $5.72 for a 52,000 square foot property, and $7.36 in Cranston. These are asking prices now. So they haven't sold. I've been waiting for them to sell, and they haven't sold. This property that sold across the way to Response was on the market for over a year, almost closer to 2 years. And that's all, they were asking $1 million up front. Having a hard time figuring out how that was assessed at $1,670,000. $1,678,200. So I'm hoping that Mr. Andolfo's appraisal will be able to shed some more light on that. And, that's all I have to say at this point. Any questions for me?
Right now, you had 8 properties listed on your appeal. I assume right now we're only talking about the first one, not the other 7 smaller ones.
Well,
He's talking about them all valued
I'm so-
together.
I'm so all valued together or well, yeah, I challenged all of them.
I understand that. Your letter broke it out into 2 sections. You had 7 of them we assessed at 352 combined, and you want those 7 dropped to 250. And then there seemed to be a separate argument about the main property, the 1.6 million, or am I missing something?
Pretty much. I mean, that's the main property is, the other ones are land parcels, but they're all part of the equation.
But the argument that the factory to factory, the warehouse space argument really is the one across the street versus the main building. That seemed to be what you focused, I think, your
There were
attention.
land parcels across the street that sold with that. It wasn't one property. There were a number of parcels that sold. And the land parcels, that's why I included all the parcels in on that. And that's what Mr. Andolfo is going to be appraising, all of the parcels.
Okay, so we're dealing with all 8 at one time here.
Sure.
I just want to be clear what.
Yeah, the main parcel is obviously the improvements. The other parcels, some of them has a parking lot. Most of them are just raw land.
I believe it was only one parcel. I believe that sale was only for the one parcel.
I got the P&S right here. Hold, let me see.
We're only being assessed for one, so I hope it was only one.
You know what? I think it was for more than one, because there is, let me see if I can find the parcels here. Maybe they converted it to one when they conveyed. I don't know. Let me see. First Amendment is the 15th of January. Parcel C, parcel D.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's still more than one property. It still can be just one
might
piece of
have done-
property.
They might have done it because it's got I got the purchase and sale, and there's an amendment to it and a second amendment to it as well. So they might have, like I said, when it conveyed, maybe they converted it to one parcel. Yeah.
So, Kerry, you're saying that all 8 of these parcels are actually one?
No, I'm
No.
saying what he keeps referring to, the sale across the street at 537 Main Street. The mill building that's right on the river and has no parking.
Okay.
Hardly any parking.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was one parcel, Mr. Vivenzio. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I remember when you appealed to me and I asked why there wasn't an income and expense filed with the application. I thought you had told me that it was all owner occupied.
It is.
When you did then give us an income and expense sheet then, oh, so just for the potential, you figured it'd be a triple net lease?
Yeah. Did I
Okay.
give, I gave you a capitalization of income analysis?
Yeah,
Okay.
using a triple net.
Okay.
Okay. Just wondering.
I mean, that's what it would be for an industrial property in most cases anyway.
It would be, yes. Okay,
but not what it is, correct?
right.
Okay.
Right, it's owner occupied. So I mean, I just did a capitalization of income just to do it as a second approach.
I had Northeast Reval do it as well. And they actually, I think, came up with an 11% cap rate. More than we actually have it valued at, so. I was just wondering.
So they did their, of
Confused
course,
about
he's gonna defend his values. You know, he came up with $29 a square foot for a mill building.
But you're adding all the land.
Yeah.
Together, that they're all separately assessed.
Yeah, but when you're gonna praise this property, you're gonna praise it as one.
No,
We're
I'm
gonna
not.
do it.
Or not.
We're gonna. Well, I'm challenging all of them together.
So that gets back to my original question. You have one argument for the kind of 7 smaller empty lots, and then there's the main argument on the building. It's been grouped together, I take it, that your argument is evaluation on the entire 8 parcels as one number.
Sure.
Okay. Now the main building, if I'm correct, approximately 1/10 of that is in Cranston.
Yeah.
And here's my problem with what you're proposing. According to town of Cranston, city of Cranston, 9,895 square feet of the building is in Cranston. And we have 88,302 feet in Coventry. Cranston in 2018 valued their portion of the building, only their portion of the building, at 323,300. If I divide the Coventry square footage by the Cranston square footage, I get 8.92. You have 8.92 times as much building in Coventry as you do in Cranston. If I keep these valuations similar, and I multiply the Cranston valuation by 8.9, I end up with Cranston would value the Coventry property at 2,877,370. Building only. And if you throw back in the land value of another 452,000, you're going to keep things consistent with the way Cranston has valued the building. You get to a valuation of 3,329,770. The Coventry is half what Cranston would be assessing this building at.
Well, you know what?
I'd say we are grossly undervaluing this building.
You got it. Come on. It's a mill building.
I'm going with the Cranston valuation.
All right. Let me say this. I'm challenging the assessment in Cranston. All right. Thanks to your reval company, Rich, the president, who brought that to my attention, that said they were grossly overassessed. Okay. But again, it's tough to value 1/10 of a building. So first I've got to deal with Coventry and get that right. Okay. Cranston is being challenged.
And I didn't speak to the appraisal company. I just looked at it myself.
Okay.
And came up with, if these are on par, and my issue is in 2018, there would have been the opportunity to appeal that valuation. And either it was appealed, and that's the number that everyone came to, or it wasn't appealed, and that was the number that was accepted in 2018 for the value of the building, the Cranston portion of the building alone. If I extrapolate that out to the Coventry portion of the building, I end up double what Coventry's current assessment is at. That gets me to the income analysis, where basically you're at $2 a square foot is what you're saying this building would rent out for. I find that number to be really low.
Well, I got $1 in Central Falls that they're getting for a mill building.
Similar to what Coventry's already assessing the building at. So from my point of view, from either an income point of view or a consistency across tax assessment schemes, Coventry's either correct or way low.
Well, we're not talking about Coventry here. I mean, we're not talking about Cranston here. And like I said, it's going to be difficult to value 1/10 of a building that happens to be in Cranston without getting Coventry correct first. But in any event, you know, I've got a lease comp here in Central Falls for $1 in a mill building, and I'm looking at it, that they're asking for that. So, you know, I thought I was being generous at $2 a square foot when I couldn't sell the property at all for a year and a half. And when they did, they ended up getting $400,000. And the reason it wasn't appealed was because they were asking $1 million for it. All right. They were asking $1 million, and it's assessed at $1,678,000. So they obviously knew what the market was, or someone gave them an idea of what the market was.
All right. Well,
Gentlemen and ladies, would you excuse me for 1 second? My dog is barking. I don't want him to. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Harry, all these parcels that are on this,
you should rather wait for them to come back.
My sincere apologies. I'm back.
No problem.
I have a question for Kerry. It was just that all these parcels that we're all talking about with this building, they are still individual single parcels. They haven't been merged at this point, correct?
No, they have not. And there was no administrative subdivision on, what is it, 537 across the street? 537, as far as I know, since I've been here either. It was just one property.
Okay, thank you.
So you didn't want to go through your individual properties, sir, and argue
No,
those?
they're land parcels. I'm you know, they're negligible differences between where they're assessed and what, you know, what I put down on the annual accounting. But again, they're all Fitchburg Realty LLC, Fitchburg Realty Company 1 LLC's properties, and you know, we're going to appraise them together as one.
Each one has a separate appraisal. Each one. There's 7 of them.
Right.
So how can we do it as one?
How can you not? It's part of the taxpayer's property, right? So if I was going to sell the whole property, just like I'm going to send you the information, I don't have it here, but there was more than one parcel that sold to Response. Okay, so whether they went back in and converted them to one, but I've been working this property since 2000. And there were.
Why haven't you had them all merged into one? We're sitting here tonight with 8 in front of us.
Eight of the parcels on my side of the building. I'm talking you. I was talking about Response, who purchased it from Arkwright Sill. There were more than
It's
one
hard
parcel.
for us. We can't value it that way, sir, because that's not how they're assessed. They're separate parcels. They're assessed separately. You can sell them separately. You don't have
Right.
to sell them together.
Right.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to explain why they're separate. They're separate because they haven't been merged by administrative subdivision, and you can sell them separately, but they are assessed separately. So we have to deal with them separately. I mean, I can see getting the big picture that they're all, you know, together right there, but they are assessed separately.
And that's
Well,
even
we're gonna come
how
to
they
some
were
kind of.
approached in the appeal. The appeal really did break them out separately. I mean, they listed separately, and you know, 7 of them are dealt with separately, and even that should have been broken out. And there were separate appeal forms for each one with a value placed on each of the individual parcels. I understand your feeling that they're all kind of part of the same parcel, but they do have to be dealt with separately, and there was really nothing presented as to what the value of those parcels individually are. Again, I don't think you're only putting $100,000 difference between your valuation and our valuation on all 7 of them. But there's nothing before that I see here that explains what the proper valuation on each of those other 7 parcels are.
They're not the issue. The issue is the main property. The issue is the main building, and we all know it. And we're going to come to some kind of amicable agreement based upon that. But I would think from my attorney's advice, they told me to challenge all of the parcels together.
I don't agree with
Probably to be
that.
broken
I
out
think that they
individually
should be
in the
done
appraisal report.
separately, one at a time. That's how it is. That's how we have 8 parcels here, and they should be done one at a time separately. Your lawyers aren't here, and I don't think you've got a good argument. I think they should be done one at a time. This is the board, and I think that that's what the decision has to be. One at a time.
Well, they can't be insignificant if you're trying to go for an appeal looking for a $100,000 reduction. And to Mr. McVitie's point, we don't know how they're comparable in size. Are they one wetlands? Is one used for parking? I mean, they each will have their own characteristics, which will determine and deem their value. So I kind of, yeah, they have to. Unfortunately, they're forced to have to be looked at individually.
And the thing, as to those 7, there's been absolutely nothing presented as to what the values of those could be, should be, why they're different. I would.
Those values range,
depends on-
those parcels range in value from 17,100, and I'm looking at the appeal sheet, so, to 82,200.
What I think we should do, we should take the first parcel at,
Can I,
let's see.
before we.
Take the first parcel at 538 Main Street. We'll work on that one. And then we'll take the second parcel, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's the way it needs to be done.
Can I want to make sure that Mr. Vinvenzio has had his chance to finish his presentation. So I just want to make sure, is there anything else you want to add? And then we can move to discussing what we want to do.
You know, I'm looking at a spreadsheet, and I'm just trying to confirm with that there were second parcel, 0 Main Street, Levelland. Okay, these are the Arkwright Sill parcels. Okay. I don't have anything for the land parcels for this hearing that will determine land sales, whether they're high or low. But we will address that situation in the appraisal report. All of the parcels will be valued. But I did give you the information on the comparable sales that I used in advance for the 538 Main Street parcel.
So based on that, my suggestion to John would be that we make a motion on the bottom 7 parcels. My motion would be to dismiss them as no evidence is put forward to challenge the valuation as one motion on all 7. And then we deal with the larger parcel.
You want to make a motion?
I would make a motion that as to lots 103-24, 103-73, 96-16.
Oh, you're killing me. Hang on, let me catch up.
Yep.
Can you do it by appeal number?
I can.
You said,
Well, it's right on the agenda, the parcel ID.
right, well, I haven't got,
Or we can go by the property location.
okay, so motion, please say the motion again.
You want me to do it by the appeal number or by lot?
File number would be easier for me. Thank you.
And that's the 2020-70 number.
Yes.
2020-70, 2020-71, 2020-72, 2020-73, 2020-74, 2020-75, and 2020-76. Be denied for lack of valuation evidence.
I'll second that motion, but now we can ask some questions, right? Since it's been a motion and seconded. Will Robert be able to bring these properties up again at a later date, say in several weeks, or Kerry? No? Okay, so
No,
so
not
if
if
you
you
completely
deny them.
denied now, that'll be the end of those properties
Yes.
as far as appeal.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, we have it seconded. I want to take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All against, say same, aye. Okay, the ayes have it, it passed. The motion passed.
So you're not going to afford me time to get the appraisal then? That's already been denied?
On those 7, we're discussing the mill property next. This is the time to bring that information to us.
Mhm.
But bro, you should have had that information at this meeting, and we don't have that information. We came out for this meeting for all of these properties. So let's continue on with 538 Main Street. Robert, could you continue on with this property?
Okay, this is the mill building that is, I've got a different square footage than you folks have. I've got an 86,428 square feet. I think, Carrie, you gave a different figure.
Can I just mention that in your letter, signed by you, you have 88,000 square foot figure. That's what I get.
I did? Okay. Okay, I got this from an old appraisal report that Andolfo did, so it might have,
Yeah, I can't hear it.
I'm sorry, did you say you can't hear me?
Put your volume up.
My volume?
No, Joe's. He said he can't.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, all right, continue.
So,
Robert,
okay, so I gave you something that says 88,000 square feet, okay. All right, well, we'll have to confirm that then. I had sent Carrie a number of different pieces of information, so,
They have everything you submitted.
okay, all right. So I'm sure at some point in time you're gonna look at some documentation that says 86,428, but we'll confirm that in the appraisal report. Again, yeah, I just can't figure out how something sold for $3.20 and you still have this parcel that's mill building at $19.80. And something that was marketed for a year and a half to almost 2 years. There's no market for these types of buildings. Even the asking prices I put on that spreadsheet, $5.72 and $7.36, those are asking prices.
I'll take a shot at explaining it, at least from my point of view. I don't know the answer, and that's my problem here. And it's also my problem with the spreadsheet that you provided, because I don't know what these properties are. I don't know what the conditions of them are. I don't know what's in them. I don't know anything about the properties in this list. That's what the appraisals do. They usually give a detailed explanation. They do adjustments up and down based on differences from building to building. I have none of that here. You may make an excellent point that the building across the street next to the river sold for $20, and how can this building be valued at $2 million? I don't know, because I don't have the information here. What I have is another town's valuation, and there was opportunities to appeal that number. I have other warehouses that are going for $4 to $5 a square foot. The information I have in front of me supports the town's valuation or even higher, because I don't know how to knock that number down.
Harry, do we know what the
So-
property across the street that sold for $400,000 was originally on the market for? And do we know if it was a fire sale, a bank sale? Do we know any of those those terms?
No, but Fiskville would, they sold it. It
Okay.
was their property. They sold it. All I know about it, I haven't been in that building, is that it's a very difficult parking situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of parking there. So you couldn't convert it really to, there's not the potential that this 538 has with all the parking that they have. I have not been inside that one. I have been inside 538 Main Street, which we're speaking about. It's a mill building.
Mhm.
There is areas that have been, like an office area,
Mhm.
which is, has been updated, is nice. The people walk in, walk through, go upstairs is nice. I did want to mention that we have that it was built in 1930. We have it in average condition. We've given a 25% functional adjustment on the building for use and an external 25% for location. I don't know why, because it seems like a good area for a mill building, but I guess maybe if you wanted to convert it to something different, I did want you to know. It's got 35% depreciation, 25% functional, and 25% echo.
So
Which brings us to the per square foot.
85% depreciation all told,
And
and it's still assessed at $1,670,000.
Well, the building, the land that sits on has value. The land is valued at $452.
How big is the parcel that the building sits on?
9 acres.
9
How
acres.
many? 9
Nine.
acres?
You had mentioned that the one next to the river, that after it sold, Carrie, there was an agreement to reduce the valuation down to 450. What was that reduced from?
No, there was no agreement. That's what it shook out with from the sale and the reval.
Okay, I should have said agreement. Do you know what the number was before?
I can find out.
It's like $1,500,000.
$1,600,000.
So, oh,
Let me make sure that this was broken out though. Yeah, that has 14.65 acres, I guess, with that. Didn't have a number then. 2020.
another street.
It sold in 2010 for 5.46 million.
That's not an arm's length sale.
Okay, I'm just
I
saying,
don't know how that came up, but that's been addressed in an older appraisal, and I can get you all the information.
I'm just saying whether it was arm's length or not, that was what was on the deed.
Okay. I've got the, I got the information on that. I could send that to you but that was 2010, it's 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was 20, I'm just trying to find out where the value came from.
Understood. Yeah, I've got,
2020.
I've got the information on which parcels went with what lots. And I'll get that information to you.
Well,
Ones went to response. I know you're saying there's still one, but there were more than one. And I got to dig it.
sir, I understand when you read a deed, it'll say parcel 1, parcel 2, parcel 3. That doesn't mean that there's separate parcels in my system.
Okay,
That means that maybe over the years, they were developed separate, they were, I shouldn't say developed. What's the word I'm looking for?
Divided?
Yes, thank you. Separately. I understand that.
I'll get you all the parcels.
But this is the hearing right here. I don't know what we're waiting to come in.
Well, you know, that's no big deal. I mean, it sold for $400,000. Okay, whether it's one or all of them. All right, it sold for $3.20, and my property is assessed at $19. I'm just trying to clarify things because I know of the details, but that's not relevant.
When did that property across the street sell?
2019, November 2019.
The river runs right through the property.
Right. I don't know, there's too
Well,
many.
there's other Coventry sales that took place earlier that are on the spreadsheet that were converted to apartments that are also, you know, on that river.
I know, but this one couldn't be because they don't have the parking. And I don't know why we're spending so much time on that one. It's, the other one is the subject.
Well, gentlemen, you're on the board. How do you explain this situation that it's $19 versus $3.20?
You can't.
I can explain it two ways. I can explain it two ways why it's where it is right now, based on potential rental value and based on another assessment, a whole other town's assessment that has it double this value, double the town's value.
Again, it's not even relevant. It's not even relevant what Cranston has it assessed at.
I have a full, by state law, every town is required to come up with the fair market value of these parcels. Cranston did this. You had the opportunity to appeal it. Maybe it was appealed, maybe it wasn't, but at some point that was the value that they placed on a chunk of the building. And if I extrapolate that out, I get to a value double what the town of Coventry has on the property right now. And I don't have anything in front of me besides some reported sales that don't explain the differences between the properties to say why this should be lower. I don't have any reason to believe.
But that was before the property sold for $400,000. All right, it was assessed at, that side of the property was assessed at $1 million, whatever beforehand, $1.6 million or $1.5 million and change, and it was increased as a result. It increased as a result of the revaluation.
Which is
One second. It appears we don't have enough information to make any decision on this property tonight. We need to have more information to make a decision for this board.
Can I get it to you?
I disagree with that completely. To me, there's plenty of, the information hasn't been presented, which is a problem, but that's not the board's fault. And the information that has been presented doesn't explain anything. To me, there's no basis for changing the town's evaluation. That's what needs to be brought to us. That's what needs to be convinced. Someone needs to convince me that this needs to change, and I don't have that information. And the information I do have points in the opposite direction. That's my take.
No, I agree. I agree that we need a little bit more concrete information to answer a lot of like questions.
Okay, what should we do as a board with this? Should we table it? Should we act on it now because there wasn't enough information presented by Robert? I'm looking for some help over here to make so we can make a decision.
We all want to get this decision right. If you can table it and give me some time to get you that report, that'll have all the answers you're looking for. I would appreciate that. I would certainly appreciate that from the board.
Does anyone want to make a motion on anything?
My motion would be to deny it based on the evidence, based on what's before the board now. I would deny the appeal. I'm not making the motion. That would be my motion if I were to make one.
Okay, so you haven't made a motion, but Lisa also feels that we need more information to
Well,
go forward on this.
right, and he's come to us with asking for an adjustment on all of the lots. We have no idea how big all those lots are. We have no idea about anything about those lots. I mean, there's more information that definitely has to be presented to us. We need to find out what the conditions were for the sale of the property across the street, which is repeatedly brought up in his argument, so that we know what we're talking about. There's just too much missing information. So at this point, we either deny it and he comes back, or
Or we table it.
or we table it. But nothing can be addressed and voted on tonight.
Okay, well, there's 4 of us on the board here tonight. There's Lisa, Chris, Joe, and myself. Does anyone want to make any kind of a motion?
Make a motion.
Otherwise, I'll make the motion if no one wants to do it. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'm going to make a motion. You can vote on it, do what you want with it. My motion would be to deny the appeal for lack of valuation evidence presented. And if no one seconds it, it dies. So
We need a second to move on.
dead.
We don't have any second.
Does that
anyone
allow
else
for the
wanna
other
make-
community to come back?
No, that means someone makes a motion for what they want to do next.
No, we're gonna make another motion. Okay, I'll make a motion that we're gonna table this. We're gonna give Robert a chance to come back with the necessary information for just this one piece of property at what's the address over here,
Did I make?
538
oh,
Main
never
Street.
mind. It's too late.
What's that, Kerry?
Yeah, I was
Did
gonna
you-
make a point, but you've already made your motion, so.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
second that.
after the second, then you can make a point. You got a second,
Okay.
on Joe? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll
it's
second
been a
it.
motion, it's been seconded. We can have a discussion on this now. So Kerry, what would you want to say?
With respect, Mr. Vivenzio, I've been dealing with him since like last April or May. He's had plenty of time to get all of the information needed. That's all.
This is not how it's supposed to work. I mean, this is when you bring your presentation. This
That's
is
right.
when you bring your
Thank you.
evidence to the board. I mean, I don't know.
I withdraw my second.
And I will grant that I deal in a different world. You know, a judge would never stand for this. A judge would throw you in your ass saying, what are you doing? This is your hearing day. Why weren't you prepared?
Well, this is what we'll have to do at this point then. We've already got a motion in a second. We're gonna have to take a vote on it. If it's denied, then we can make another motion. This has been a very confusing night because we've been going back and forth with all different properties and not enough information. But anyways, I'm gonna take a vote on it. All in favor of this motion to table it, say aye. All against, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. So I want to make another motion. Oh, Chris, why don't you make the motion that you originally made?
Let me just catch up. Let me catch up. All in favor, table.
This is the craziest, brother,
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, please continue.
Okay, anyone might want to make another motion?
Well, I'll renew my motion that the appeal be denied for lack of evidence presented to sustain a new valuation.
Okay, I'll second it. And I also want to say, Robert, my heart kind of goes out to you. You know, I hear, you know, your desperation in this. That's why we've been going back and forth in these motions and everything. But Chris was right. This is the time for you to have all of the information together so that we could just look over all of the information and just make the decision tonight. But you weren't prepared.
I wasn't, and you know what? It was, I don't want to throw my appraiser under the bus. He didn't get the information I requested for. And I just received this information that we had a hearing last Thursday.
You're gonna get a new appraiser. Okay, I'm gonna take the vote now.
Yeah,
All in
did you ever
favor of-
receive the letters?
No.
You still haven't received, I sent the
Received the
letters.
letters.
over to
Thank
you.
God I got, the board sent me something on Thursday.
Okay, which was also me, but I sent you letters. I don't know why you didn't get them. Okay.
Does anyone have anything else to say before we take the vote? Okay. All in favor of Chris's motion to deny this, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All that deny this motion, say aye. Okay, the motion passes.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on,
If you wish to
Yeah.
appeal us, you're free to do that.
The information that Kerry has is all public information. Is that correct?
The what information that you're speaking of?
Well, the reval company did, you said, a capitalization of income, and your record card that has all the depreciation.
The record card definitely is all, the record cards are.
Uh-huh. And that
It's all
has,
public, it can all be found online.
okay. All right, how about the capitalization of income?
Nope, that was just done for me.
That's not public information.
No, I'd gladly let you have it if you'd like it.
Well, I just want to see where our differences lie. I'd like to just take a look at that, and I'm sure the appraiser would like to see it as well.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm gonna hand it over. I'd have to find out about that through my legal. I don't know about that. I'm sorry. But I have your number. I have your email. I'll find out.
I just thought it was public information, that's all. Let me
I'm
ask
not
you
sure.
this, gentlemen, if I can get that appraisal. I've got how many days to file the court now? Once from the date of the denial notices? Is it 60 days, I believe?
I think it's 90.
Yeah, 60 or 90. I'm doing Connecticut right now, so. Is this something that, once I have the report, that we could revisit? Or do we have to deal with legal counsel to legal counsel? I mean, we want to get this situation done and right amicably, and I'm all for that. And my apologies for not having the information to present my case properly.
well, this is out of the hands of the Board of Review at this point.
Okay,
We don't have anything else to do with this.
okay.
Right, your next step is court.
Yeah, but it never goes to court. It always gets settled at some point in time.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, it's 6 years down in Connecticut before anything gets to court. So, I mean, how do I get this spurred on so that we can settle the case? Who do I talk to? Kerry? Is it you?
Yeah, yes. You're gonna have to start the third step in the process, which is filing the court documents. I haven't been through it before, so it'll
I
be
just
new
don't
to
want this thing
me.
to sit in court because it's going to be years and years before anything happens in Rhode Island.
Okay, but I can't say that they'll settle. I don't know.
Who's
I
they?
would,
Who's
that would be a great outcome, but I don't know.
Harry, who's they? I mean, this isn't going to court, and I want to try to settle this thing informally. Who's they?
It's too late for that, is what I'm saying. You
But
started the process.
it's not going to go to court. This thing's always either who's your town council? Will
Once
deal
it's
with him directly? Is he willing to do something?
with town solicitor.
I'm sorry.
I
It
believe
will,
Once it's filed, then it will go into the hands of town solicitor.
Okay.
and I would have the reval company defend their value.
Mhm.
But we can't jump over steps, Mr. Vivenzio. I have to follow the process.
Well, I've just dealt with the process in other municipalities, and they've always been settled. I've never
Before
done-
you file in Superior Court?
What?
Before you file in Superior Court?
No, after I filed.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. You have 30 days to file in Superior Court.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I'm saying is I can't just skip.
No, I wasn't asking you to do that. I'm just saying, once we get this procedure down and filed, I just want to try to, I just, like I've tried to do informally with you. I just wanted to try to get this case settled. And if I present evidence that, my value is, or your value is excessive, I just want it to, I don't want it languishing in court. Nothing gets done.
Okay, well, at that time, then we can talk about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on with this meeting. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate your consideration.
Yep.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving down the agenda, we're at item number 6, announcements. I don't have any announcements. Does anyone else have anything to announce?
Do not.
I would like to, I preliminarily reserved, we have to reserve, there can only be one meeting at a time because there's Zoom. So all of the boards and commissions and town council and everything, we can only have one at a time because it has to have IT support. So I put in for March 9th, which is also a Tuesday, sticking with the Tuesday. Yep, March 9th. So I'm throwing that out there. You don't have to let me know now. I've reserved this spot. Just as soon as possible, maybe let me know so that I can go forward. We still have other appeals to get through.
I'm fine with the 9th, but
I am too.
Okay.
I am too.
Oh,
Yep.
So am I.
cool.
Joe? You good with it,
Great.
Joe?
He's good.
Okay, so March 9th at 5:45, right?
If that works for you guys.
Yes.
Is this time working well? Or we can start at 5:30. Now that I don't have any, I pushed it to 5:45 because the woman that was did the meeting minutes that one time, that was better for her. But I have to set the meeting on the half hour because Zoom, you can't set the meeting not on the half hour, or not Zoom. Secretary of State has to be on can't be a 45 or a 50. So if it's if a better time to start, if you'd rather start at 5:30 or a little later, that works too. You just let me know. We like 5:45?
5:30.
5:30 or 5:45 is good for me, either for me.
5:30 works.
Okay, 5:30 is better. Seeing as we have to be here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I have.
Let me just get this, so it's gonna be March 9th at 5, we said 5:45? So it was
5:30. We're gonna go with
5:30.
5:30.
1 second. Okay. All right, are there any other things that anyone wants to bring up? Any other announcements, anything at all? Okay, I guess, Joe, you're up. Number 7, Joe, adjournment. I don't think Joe can hear me. Can you hear me, Joe? All right, I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting right now at 6:40.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, what's the word?